Hey guys, Ross here, welcome back to the channel. In today's video guys, we're doing the tier list of the top 3 tanks on Tarisland right now. Now this is obviously my opinion, can be sort of disagreed with in the comments if you really want to. A lot of people will think number 3 should be number 1 should be number 3, vice versa, whatever it is. But this is my personal experience with the 3 different classes. We have of course got paladin, barbarian warrior and the regular warrior. These are the 3 current tank spec classes in Tarisland. The only 3 you can actually tank on. So what I've done is guys, I've got them all to a specific level on the Chinese server, around about 18, 19, 20. Granted, me paladin's 26, but I've got them to the point where I can actually tank a dungeon to judge for myself which one I prefer, why I prefer it the best, and which one I like the least. Now, what I've done is, guys, to keep everything consistent, I've only done it in normal Library of Chaos, and all the sort of footage I'm going to relate to is the final boss battle, or just the dungeon in general sort of thing. So I'm going to talk about skills, sort of like the skills that are good for each one, and why I think certain ones lack compared to the other ones. And this will also give you some sort of idea as well towards the end, if you plan to go into raiding, which 2 tanks I think would be the best in a raid scenario. So without further ado guys, if you like down below, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And I do apologise for the gameplay in the background. I am on the Chinese server and the ping is extremely high, so there's a lot of delay on the attacks, which is very infuriating. But global very, very soon. Anyway, let's get into it. Right guys, in at number 3, this is me least favourite tank, so warrior mains. I do apologise, but that's just the way I feel. So the warrior, I was tanking with a warrior, and honestly there's a couple of things that I don't like about it. Now, a couple of his good things about him, he's got a HP boost with a self-heal skill, so you can give yourself some extra HP and heal yourself at the same time. That's pretty good. You've got a physical defense buff, increases your physical defense, reduces your damage taken by I think it's 25%, also pretty good, obviously 2-minute cooldown, whatever. And the single target attacks are pretty good at keeping aggro. So if you're on a boss and stuff, yes, you will keep a lot of aggro on the boss because a lot of your skills are focused on that. However, there's a couple of things I don't like about the warrior, which is led it to be my least favourite. Now, the self-shield skill, you'll see it grayed out currently in the background. That requires rage, or whatever it's called, the not mana, but the charge you need to do. You need to charge up to actually self-shield yourself. And because of this, I found myself waiting for that to fill up quite a lot to put a tiny shield on, and I just didn't appreciate that at all. I also don't like the fact that it's got very, very limited multi-target attacking. So for instance, if the bit I'm at the background here where there's a lot of targets, granted they don't hurt you very much, but on elite mode, challenge mode and stuff, you want to try and keep the aggro. All I've got is the thunderclap type skill, the stamp on the ground AoE. That's the only AoE skill I had other than ultimates, and for that it just really let us down. I felt like it could have been a bit more in the AoE department to actually attack things multi-target wise. And lastly, of course, none of the skills on the warrior are ranged, so I have to actually physically move to things to attack them or charge, which on a better ping would be understandable, but on high ping, obviously it's terrible, and I'm going off the current experience. But no ranged attacks is a big no-no for me, especially with a warrior tank, because that means I have to physically move constantly instead of, oh, well, there's a mob attacking the healer, I can just throw a knife at it, or for example, to take the aggro, I have to actually run over there, and then the boss follows us, and he moves, and he changes direction and stuff. I would prefer a ranged attack. So that's why warrior for me is the least favourable tank right now. So guys, number 2 will be an absolute shocker, since I do plan to make a paladin, is the paladin, of course. Now, I didn't want to appear biased, even if I put it at the top spot, that wouldn't have been the case, because that's not the way I do things. But paladin is in second place because of a couple of tiny issues versus the barbarian warrior, which I will get into. But some of the good things about the paladin that I do like, she or he has got a self-heal, which heals you. So if your healer's struggling a bit, you can just pop it, heal yourself, easy peasy, and that's that. We've got a physical defense buff, same as the warrior, which reduces damage taken by 20% instead of 25%, but still quite good. Now, when it comes to the self-shield on the paladin, you can cast it at any point. Now, obviously, I charge up. The higher the charge up, the more powerful the shield, the more powerful the shield that you attack with when you press the skill. Fair enough, but you can just use it off the bat. And that's another thing I like about it, is the fact that the shield is a ranged attack, so you can throw it at things that aren't necessarily next to you to take the aggro. One of the things I disliked about the warrior was the lack of range, whereas the paladin does have a ranged attack. It also has an AoE attack, which is sort of like a consecration type thing. Area of effect, zone appears around you, causes damage, generates aggro. And the main spell you can see is spamming there at the bottom left is one of the iterations or changes from the talent tree, which changes it to multi-targeting. So the multi-targeting for the paladin is very, very good, I will say that. There's a lot of potential. It's pulling trash mobs, stuff like that, and attacking lots of things at once. So I do think paladin specifically is a very good tank to have on your team in a raid. Not the main tank though, the main tank is still going to be the barbarian, and I'm going to go into that why in a moment, but for that, that's why I've went with that. Anyway guys, this is in at number 2, we're going to go into number 1 now, and explain why and the reasoning behind it. Let's go. So guys, of course, in at number 1 is the Barbarian Warrior. Now I'm actually shocked at this because I've never actually tanked with a Barbarian Warrior in any of the closed BR tests, technical BR tests. Always just did DPS with it. I was actually shockingly surprised at how good of a tank the Barbarian is. Now I do feel like in a raid scenario, your secondary tank would be a paladin and your main target tank would be a barbarian because of the skills he has at his disposal. Now you've got 2 separate physical defense buffs plus immunity to attacks and a glance and increased skill. So obviously these are the 90-second and the 120-second cooldowns. But the boss is doing a massive attack or something, pop one of these, you're going to survive, give the healers an easier time on healing everybody else. I do think that's very good. We don't have any charge on the self-shield either, so you'll see occasionally like there, the little crystals going around us is the HP shield, which you don't need to charge up to use. I do like the fact you can do that. And we've got very good multi-target tanking skills. So you'll see there's a lot in this bit, clicking the spinning axes, that is the AoE, and it's literally like you can press it and then it cools down to do it again instantly after you've used it, so you can just keep spamming it. So if there's lots of crowd control situations, lots of things running around, you can just keep doing this. It's got like a 3 or 4 second cooldown, I think it is, and it's really easy to just keep using it to keep aggro on multiple targets a lot. I don't think it's as good as the Paladin's multi-target, but it is still really good for keeping the aggro. Now, lastly, we've got a ranged attack as well, which is the throwing of an axe. Now, I tried to use this a couple of times, it wasn't really working on the high ping, but I have seen other people on videos use it where you can throw axes at people to do damage and get aggro. So it does, I do like appreciate that as well. If you need to swap targets, you need to tank the healer, so you can throw an axe at them, quickly steal the aggro. Anyway guys, I don't plan to do a healer version of this because I don't actually want to level the 3 healers, so I don't look forward to that. I might do it in the future sometime on the global server, who knows, but for now I'm not going to go down that route because I do actually plan to tank in global. That's why I wanted to make this. Now I still plan to make a paladin tank. I'm not going to swap the barbarian just because I feel like it's better overall, but that's that. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this list. I hope you agree with it. Like I say, if you don't agree with it, please do let us know down in the comments. Answer why. Don't just say Iros, you're stupid, the warrior's the best or whatever. Just give us a reason why, so I can look into it myself and learn about it myself. Well, maybe he's right, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. Obviously this isn't late game content, this is early game, lower level tanking. It was just sort of me trying them out to see which one I like, because a lot of my class choice in games is early game. So if it's good early game, I know I like it. Late game, and that's why I tested it here instead of waiting until a level 40 or anything like that, because I'm not maxing anything on the Chinese server whatsoever. Anyway guys, again, if you like the video, please do show us that by liking down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. And you can find my Discord if you want to join it, linked in the description, as well as my Twitter, and stuff, follow us if you want. If not, I will see you very, very soon in the next video. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you then. Bye bye.